What's up, UA fam? Ashley here. And if you love this podcast and you actually find yourself re-listening to episodes and wanting more of Taryn and I, guess what? You should subscribe to our Supercast where we give you bonus content every single week. But not just basic episodes, we do interactive episodes like personalized AMAs where you can specifically ask Taryn how her dating life is going, and you can specifically ask me how it's been living with my boyfriend this past few months. We do solo episodes and even scary episodes because we know how much you guys love those scary stories. And our Supercast community has been growing exponentially, so don't miss out. Subscribe to Supercast now and join the fun.
Ready?
Are we matching?
Kinda.
We're both wearing jeans
Blue
and navy.
sweaters.
Wow.
We don't plan this, y'all.
This is fun. And our hair's up.
Both. I was having a meltdown.
Taryn was having a bad hair day,
Ash,
but also a good hair day. It was a weird mix of both.
No. Here's the thing. This is the definition of how I feel like my life goes. Whenever I curl my hair in the morning and I'm like obsessed, like, am I professional? Should I go into this profession? Walk out of the door 5 minutes later, flat as a board, looks disgusting, doesn't last. Whenever I curl my hair and I'm like, what in the curly Sue? Like, this is not what I meant to do.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, it's okay. It's going to go away. All day, it will last.
Yeah.
There's
all day. No
there's
wind,
no in
no
between.
rain will get that curl out.
Yeah. So the whole last episode, I was so uncomfortable. And when I know my hair looks crappy, I'm very uncomfortable.
Crappy is a harsh word, though. It didn't look crappy. I just
It's
don't
not
think
like-
you liked your bangs.
I just wasn't comfortable in it. Like, I would rather it be like ugly and thrown up. And then I'm like, oh, it looks like intentionally just messy. Then it's like when it's curly and people are like, oh, you did this on purpose.
Oh, you tried?
Oh, this is like, are you going for
there
this?
was effort involved?
Oh, honey. Yeah. That's when it's like so much worse. So in between episodes, I was like, I'm putting my hair up. But it like turned little
looks
Pam
fantastic.
Anderson vibes.
It's very I like it a lot.
Thanks, girl.
Also, I just love an updo with a high neck. If there's something, especially with your hoops right now, it's just so elegant and it's very feminine, and I love that.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's like,
Mom,
keep it coming.
Well, you look super cute too.
Oh my God, thank you. I was waiting for you to say, you look
gorgeous. Go anything at all, like anything. I feel like I'm dating someone who's like more shy and who's like a 9. By the way, he took the Enneagram on his own just because I was talking about it. Like, hot?
Keeper?
No, literally, I was like, hot? Have you been listening to my podcast? Do you know how important this is to me?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because like, even with you, like, I remember especially like when we first started hanging out, like how literal you would be about things, or like certain things where I'd be like fishing for a compliment and you'd just be like, oh, cool. And I'm like, no, like, tell me that I'm like amazing. Yeah. And so I'll just, cause you know me, I'll be like, you don't even like that I did this, or like whatever. And he'll just be like, Taryn, like I tell you all the time, like how proud I am of you or how beautiful you are, whatever. And I was dying because it reminded me of like, I'm like, you don't even tell me like I'm your best friend to you. And you'd be like, you know, I've told you you're my best friend.
Do you see me hanging out with anybody else?
2 years ago. You haven't told me since. I've been counting, you know.
Taryn's hilarious because she thinks she's
That's
sly
a very nice word.
when she's fishing for a compliment. She'll literally like say this like very like degrading kind of comment about herself and then like look up at you. She'll say something like, I can't even give an example.
Degrading, like it's terrible, but
but she'll put herself down in some way and then pause for dramatic effect. And if you don't respond quickly enough, she looks up at you. And she clearly is wanting you to say, you look beautiful today. Or, you know, she wants you to say that. She wants you to say that. But she thinks she's being so sly about it. But it's this like,
and then it's funny because it's like, obviously I know what I'm doing because I'm like blatantly looking at the person like, hello. And Ashley's gotten to the point, like she'll be on her phone and she'll look over and she'll be like, she'll put it down. She'll be like, you're gorgeous. You're stunning. You're killing it. Like whatever. But obviously this poor guy, he's like just learning. So even like last night, I was like,
I'll write him a little pocketbook of tips.
I was like, you don't even appreciate me. And you didn't even say thank you for coming. And he was like, thank you for coming. I was like, no, it's too late now.
I told you to say it.
And he was like, okay, well, I don't know what you want from me. But yeah, anyways, what are we talking about? It's second episode.
How you need
to chill out. Yeah.
To
aware.
Relax with the need of words of affirmation from people.
You know, at least like I know what I need and I hustle to get it.
Yeah.
Instead of just like being bitter at you, I create an opportunity for you to fulfill what I need.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, hi everybody.
I just said yeah like 10 times in a row and Taryn's like,
welcome to the
back
podcast.
To episode, the first episode of the new year.
Because the last one was before.
And now it's officially 2025. Yep. Hello.
Welcome to the new year.
Do you recognize us? We're new.
We're new.
We're not ourselves anymore.
I'm days into being disciplined, letting things go.
I'm walking a lot.
Yeah, no, we're so going to be that when you listen to this.
100%.
And I'm excited about it.
I hope this is us speaking it out.
I hope you guys had wonderful holiday season and we're all back on our grind, which means we're back to our regular content.
Regularly scheduled content.
Yes.
You missed it. We missed it. Feels good to be back.
It does feel really good to be back. The holidays are always crazy because we have October series and then it's like we kind of get our footing again, but then it's like holiday stuff and New Year stuff. And so then after New Year's, I feel like is when we're like, okay, like let's get back to all the things.
Yeah.
Your guys' stories.
Good. It feels good getting back.
Yeah.
Because this is what we were meant to do. This is our purpose. This is the podcast.
Absolutely.
Talking about your guys' lives and problems and relationships and fixing them.
Fixing
what we
everyone.
Do. That's what we do.
Because we can't fix our own, so we might as well fix other
people's.
You're
everyday heroes over here. Changing lives. One email at a time.
One email at a time. Yeah. So is there anything you want to like update us on?
I recently, finally, tried the overnight collagen mask.
Oh, is that the one you sleep on and it
yes.
like, okay.
When I tell
How did you do? Because aren't you a side sleeper?
I am a side sleeper, but it dries completely. So you don't.
But how fast? Like, did you start on your back?
No, I put it on, read for a bit, it dried, and then I totally side slept. It did not get anywhere on my pillow. Mm-mm. So I do think there was one part that was kind of bugging me around my nose. So I think next time I'm going to like fully avoid this area so it doesn't dry there. Because I tend to like rub my nose, I think, in my sleep because it got a little loose. But my skin was immaculate this morning and my makeup went on so great this morning. And I think it all had to do with the mask. So the Medicube mask, I highly recommend it. I like didn't think I was going to like it because it was like all over TikTok. And you know how some of those things you're like,
yeah, like you actually get it and you're like,
yeah. I'm like, I don't believe you.
It always cracks me up when like, I'll see a TikTok that's like promoting something or like Amazon link to something. And then you click on the Amazon link and you know how it'll tell you like right there, this is like a frequently returned item.
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay. Yeah. So
I even bought like the smaller bottle because I like didn't, too many people I know on TikTok were using it. And I was like, okay,
okay, I'm confused. So this is like a mask you apply or like the sheet one that like dries to you?
There's two. There's a sheet one and there's a mask you apply.
You did the mask you apply?
I've done the sheet one. It was okay. That one was a little uncomfortable to sleep on. I did the one you apply. So easy to sleep on.
See, I could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one you could just apply.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Please send me the link. Yeah.
I was really pleasantly surprised by it. It worked really well. And I think I'm going to start using it more often. I like didn't feel it. And I thought it worked great. And in my head, I was like, these people are lying. There's no way that you can sleep in that. I was wrong.
Is it a wash off in the morning?
Yeah, you can peel it off or wash it off. It's like a very satisfying like shed where you like completely peel it off. Or if you just wash it with warm water, it comes off like a regular mask.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But it dried completely.
Cool.
And my skin looked really great after. And I was just like,
love that.
The TikTok girlies knew.
Love that.
They were right. They weren't lying.
They weren't lying to you.
Love that.
We love
so that's a fun
not
update.
Being lied to because we're lied to by everyone else in our lives. I don't know. I just felt like being dramatic, but
yeah. Well,
I'm
sure to an extent.
Oh God.
Everyone
Trust
lies,
issues
right?
just like came to the surface
Me
right there.
looking at you, I'm just like,
You're like, oh,
are
really?
they? Are you?
I don't know. The guy that I'm talking to hung out with my siblings.
How is that?
It was so fun. So I asked him, because I've shared like he's more like on the shy side. So I was like, okay, like what would be like a good meeting? Because I need you to meet my siblings before I like fully fall for this guy, because
Right.
that's so important to me.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I think bowling would be like perfect. And I was like, that's so fun. Like great first meeting. So
I also just went bowling.
really,
Yeah.
it's so fun. Did you hurt your nail? Because I thought my thumbnail was gonna like rip off.
No, but yours are longer than mine. And I
And-
have gone bowling with long nails and that hurt. Yeah.
I throw the bowling ball so weird. I don't know how to fix it. It just like happens naturally.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single time I threw it, I was like, I looked down expecting my thumbnail to just be gone. But
Eek.
that was painful, but worth it. But it was like so fun. So it was Ryan and Brett, and then obviously Julian, Vanessa, and then me and Mystery Man. And it was just like so fun seeing them interact. Like he had met Brett before. So like when they
Right.
said hi, it was very like, hey, like the way
Buds.
like guys
Yeah.
like say hi. And I was just me in the background, just like
Yeah.
thriving. And then like him and Ryan started talking crap to each other like right away, because he's very competitive. They're very competitive. But it was just like really fun. I think it's like, you know, like when you start talking to someone and it's like you create your own perfect little bubble, but then you're like, oh crap, like what if this doesn't like fit into like my life and like
Yeah.
the important things in my life. So I think that was like really, really fun. And it was just like fun, like being out like with, and my brothers really haven't seen me with a guy since my ex, which is like 13 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not like, I've never brought around like a fling or like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was just very interesting and it was fun. Like just seeing them kind of like watching me and like, I could tell they really like him. So it was just very successful. And I was just like beaming. Like when we were driving back afterwards, I was like, I'm so happy. He's like, no, I literally can tell like he won't stop smiling. And I was just like, my people all like. So now next is we got to go on a double date.
I know. I'm
And
very
then,
excited.
Yeah. That's the order, you know. It's like siblings, Ash, parents, and then we're good to go.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's my update.
But he met your dad already,
Well,
right?
very briefly, just because we happened to be at something that
Yes.
it was a very like brief passing, just like, hi, nice to meet you. Not really any
Yeah.
interaction.
Substantial.
So it like counts, but it doesn't count, you know.
Right. Exciting.
I know.
Can't wait for our double date. It's going to be so fun.
Double day. Okay, so I'm like, how do we do our episodes again? It's been so
What's
long.
the routine? Oh, yeah, it's my
You
it's my
gotta
turn.
tearing it up for
I
us.
sure do. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I'm not going to be saying the title for this one because it gives the entire thing away. So we're just going to dive right in. Hello, girlies.
Hey,
My name is Abby. I'm 26 from Manchester, England. And yes, you can say my name.
love that.
I'll start off by saying, first of all, I love that we know where you're from, your age, and you even gave us your name. I have so much background now.
Yep.
I feel great.
We know you.
I'll start off by saying how much I love you both and the podcast. I find myself talking back to you as if it's a three-way conversation.
I love that.
I have plenty of embarrassing stories. Here's one that still haunts me. When I first started seeing my now partner of 5 years, we used to send each other a lot of sexy photos.
Oh, God.
Nothing too crude, usually just lingerie pics. One evening,
I'm scared.
I decided instead of just sending a photo in a message that I would design a sexy postcard and send it to him through one of those websites. Apparently there's websites and she lists a few of them. Now, I was fully aware that someone in the warehouse sending it would have to see, so they weren't too spicy. I took the photos, designed the postcard, ordered it, and sent it to the house. A few hours later, it hit me. I had a gut-wrenching thought. I hope that comes in an envelope.
Oh, because it's a postcard. So like, it's just like out. Oh my gosh.
I checked the email confirmation. No envelope. This meant that not only did the person who printed it saw,
The mail. Oh.
but so did the delivery driver, the post office workers, and the postman. And worst of all, my future mother and father-in-law, who I had yet to meet at this point.
Oh, I was going to say, is she not like screening the mail? I would hire a TaskRabbit
100%.
to sit in front of that house.
You are sitting next to the mailbox 24/7 until you see a very spicy postcard come in. You snatch it.
Oh my, that got passed around the post office.
In an attempt to try and stop it from being sent, I rang the customer services and told them someone else put a sexy photo on a postcard and sent it. So please, can you cancel it? The lady on the other end did her best, but said it was too late. It had been sent to the sorting office.
Oh God.
But she did say, OMG, who would do that? That's awful.
She's like, I don't know.
And I just said, a big, massive idiot. That's who. Luckily, I can laugh about it now, but at the time, I wanted the world to swallow me whole. Hopefully, you guys read this and got a good giggle out of it, even if it doesn't get read on the pod. I love you both, Abby.
Oh, girl.
And it's the title, because she doesn't really give us a conclusion. The title says, my in-laws saw my sexy pics. So I think that the parents got the postcard.
Oh my God. Dude, this is why, okay, I think there's no judgment.
No, not at all.
No judgment.
And I get that you're trying to do something fun and whatever.
No, but I'm saying like about what I'm going to say. But I cannot understand sending pics in any way, shape, or form because I am so paranoid about the internet and like getting hacked and like accidentally sending it and like someone looking at your phone for something like, oh yeah, let me look for this like one picture and then like your butt's right there.
Yeah.
Like I just am so paranoid, but I get that that's like what keeps relationships spicy sometimes or if you're long distance or whatever. But it's like every story like this, it just reaffirms my fear of like having concrete proof of anything.
Yeah.
That anything that I'm like, I don't want everyone to see.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
100%. That's literally like my, not worst fear, but like, it's up there.
Yeah. Anytime I have even sent like a flirty pic, I'm like either my face is fully cut off or I'm like no visible tattoo showing.
There are rules where you don't show tattoos, you don't show your face, but
I'm running out of.
You're running out of space.
It's like, here's my nipple because I like have tattoos everywhere. Like that's like the only area that's not like.
I'm so sorry. I feel like I laughed really hard right into the mic, right into your ears.
Yeah,
I'm
running out of spots where you can't, or like my kneecap.
Yeah,
like I don't
like,
really
here's
have.
my toe.
Yeah, I don't have many
That's
like
all I've got.
unidentifiable parts. But I won't get human trafficked. Apparently, did you hear that?
And that's a win.
Did you hear about that though?
What?
Like if you have like tattoos?
Yes, I have heard that is a great way to avoid, being kidnapped. It's a dark world out there.
It is a dark world that was like, I was like, perfect.
Yikes. Yeah. Let me just go like add a little tattoo to my face.
Just a little star on your face, something. Yeah. No, for sure.
Just a little twinkle by my eye.
Little twinkle in your eye.
Like a little star emoji. Just do.
Yep. Love that. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one. This one is titled Help. How do I tell him I'm a late bloomer?
I also have that in my stories.
Ashley,
how did you get it?
You didn't move it out of the inbox because it was in the inbox.
I moved it into my stories though.
You did not.
Clearly not.
Why does it say it's in Ashley's stories and my stories?
I know. I'm so confused.
Well, I'm reading it first.
How dare you? That literally was my story.
Usually you respond to like what I say, but you immediately looked at your phone. So I was
just like, wait.
I was like, you didn't like that title? I thought it was so good.
No, it was great. Okay. Luckily I have 2 pulled, so we're good to go.
Perfect. Love that because I'm taking it. Hey, girlies.
Hi.
I hope you're doing well. I'm an avid listener of the podcast and love tuning in during my daily commute to and from work. I've been a fan of Alicia since her early YouTube days and was so happy when Ashley started her own journey.
That's a real one right there.
You know what's cute is like I was around when you were starting your vlog channel or
I had
your
already started
channel?
my YouTube channel. I was starting my vlog channel.
Yeah. And it was like so cute, like watching her be like nervous about it. And then now it's like your freaking full-time career.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't
wild.
that weird? That's weird.
Love it. I'm obsessed with you both, your advice and dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, internet. Mm-hmm. You've tried to kill us. We emerged victorious.
She said advice too.
Okay. Well, moving on. I'm writing to you, my internet big sisters, for advice on something that's been nagging me. Is my non-existent love life a red flag? This is very interesting.
This is very interesting. And what's funny is I read the email already.
But you're already like hooked in
and
it.
I'm like, I like it. That's what brought me in was I was like, whoa, wait.
But this is the teetering topic that I think is so fascinating that I find myself in a lot, where there are some things that are quote unquote red flags. I say this all the time. Is it quote unquote or quote unquote? Well, that's embarrassing. So, quote unquote. What
was the other thing you said on the pod that was so wrong? What was it? What was it?
Nothing.
It was so funny.
I'm smart. I graduated college.
What was it?
7 years later.
I'm blanking.
Anyways, okay. There are some things that we would classify red flags. There are very, very like reasonable exceptions to. Like I remember I would go out dancing with my friends and I'd be like, ew, I do not want to meet someone who's out on a Friday night at a club. Like, ew, that's not going to be the type of guy I want. But then I'm like, I just like ate my microphone.
At a club.
I'm here and I am like a gem.
Yeah.
Like wifey material. Like I'm here. So what's not to say that like another guy, I don't know why I said another guy as if I'm a guy.
But there is a guy.
A guy is here like with his friends too, just like having a night out. Or like I'll be like, oh my gosh, he's in his 30s and he's still single. Like red flag. But I'm like 30s, still single. And again, everyone's dream wife material.
Obviously.
I'm gassing myself up because someone's got to. So it's like, it's one of those things where I think red flags are important. I think there are things to watch for, but I think context is very important too. So I do think there are certain things that we tend to be like, oh, he's in this category, I'm running, instead of being like, okay, he's in this category, noted. Let me dig a little deeper to find out like why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, continuing. A little about me. I'm 26, a second-year resident doctor, and an Enneagram 7, the enthusiast, which we love 7s. Life is pretty great. I have a loving family, amazing friends, and I'm on a self-love journey. But there's one area I'm really struggling, romance. Here's the thing. I've never been in a real relationship, never had a boyfriend, held hands romantically, or had my first kiss.
Okay.
I've been on and off dating apps for the past year and have gone on a few dates. I'm currently talking to a guy I met on Bumble. It's a very slow burn, but things are moving forward, and we're planning a second date soon. My question is, how do I talk about my non-existent love life? Would the fact that I've been single forever scare him and make him think something is fundamentally,
there you go.
did I say it right?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounded really weird in my brain. Wrong with me. I don't know much about his past either, so maybe we're in the same boat, but what if we're not? I've tried coming up with my answer to the inevitable question about my dating history, but I can't land on what feels right. I don't want to lie and invent a fake ex-boyfriend, but I also don't want to sound lame or unlovable. Should I highlight my long distance situationship in talking stages, or is that reaching? I'm in a bit of a pickle and would love your big sister advice on how to approach this. I've attached a few pictures of me because I know you love seeing us. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. Anonymous.
I saw the photos.
Don't look. Oh.
This is weird. We never actually pulled the same email.
I don't think we like ever have, to be honest.
I can't remember. Did she give her age?
26.
Okay.
So I will say that is older. So I feel like I get why, like, that is a rarity. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not saying that in a way of like, oh girl, you're older, but I'm saying that in a way of sometimes like, it's okay to like, be like, oh, I am in a unique situation. Mm-hmm. And I can anticipate people's reaction or maybe questions, or you kind of like learn your patterns, right? Mm-hmm. And like, that's something I got very used to with the fact that like being older and a virgin, like, and dating and having to like have that conversation with guys. There's like a recognition that I know that this is not typical. And I know that it also comes with different comfort levels or things people are willing to do or not do. Mm-hmm. And I think when you are in a unique situation, I think it's your job to recognize that and then to come up with your own boundaries and expectations. Mm-hmm. So for you, I don't think there's anything shameful about it. I'm so, like, just hearing the type of person you are, it sounds like you're a very social person. So it's not like you're not fun and outgoing and
or
things like that.
Or, yeah.
But your second year residency as a medical doctor,
Sorry,
like,
you bad.
from what I've seen on Grey's Anatomy, like, you don't have time for like a lot. Like, it's not like you're just like, I don't know. Like, to me, I would pitch it more as, hey, just so you know, like, obviously, like, I know it's rare, but like, I don't have much like romantic experience. Like, life has just not been focused on that. It's been focused on other things. Like, had little things here and there, but nothing that's like substantial. Like, I haven't had my first kiss or like really dated anyone, but I don't know. Like, I just think like the way you tell things really impacts how someone accepts it. Like,
That's
there's
literally what I
two
was gonna
ways
say.
to say it. I could be like, well, I've never really like kissed anyone or dated anyone. Or you say it in a way that's like a powerful, just like, this is my life and this is my situation. And I do think like there's also I'm curious what you think about this. I think there is a teetering line when it comes to like, I feel like as a person, I would feel a lot of responsibility to be someone's first kiss or first time or whatever. So I would want to know that as a person, because like I would want to make the decision. If I'm just talking to someone and I'm like not really into it, I'd be like, you should probably save your first kiss for someone else, versus like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think you should share it, but I do think you should share it in a powerful, like, I've been booked and busy, I'm a doctor, instead of like, oh, like something's wrong with me, like I haven't been with anyone, because that's not the case.
Yeah. I think in so many ways people look to you, the person telling the story, for how they should respond to something.
Yes.
And I think if you say it, like Taryn said, if you say it shyly, like, oh, I've never had my first kiss, that immediately changes how they're going to think about it. If you say, oh, I've never kissed anyone, I've been too busy building an empire for myself.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be like, that's hot. And it's all about how you say it. And I think there's things, this is just my personal take, I think there's things people need to know about, and I think there's people don't need to know about. And I think that's up to you to decide. Personally, unless they straight up ask me, I wouldn't tell anyone. And if I wanted to make sure I was very careful with who got my first kiss or who I slept with for the first time, that is in your power to control. And
that's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. Like, I think you need to sit with like, I didn't even think about that. You need to sit with like what it is you want out of your first kiss. That's a really good point.
Right. What I do love about where you're at with this age is when you're younger, I think it's a lot harder to speak up for yourself, to know what you want, to speak confidently, because you don't know what you want because you're a teenager and you're figuring it out along the way. When you're 26, it's a lot harder for someone to take something from you because you're a little more careful, you know what to look for. And if you sense it going towards a kiss and you're not ready, leave. Like, politely exit and leave. Like, you don't have, and I think this is something you have to sit with. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to sit across from someone and you're going to be like, I want to kiss him. And so maybe you lead it down that way. Or maybe you feel safe with that person sitting across from you and you feel safe saying, I've actually never had a kiss before.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight's my night, and make it more fun. Instead of saying you don't have something, make it something to look forward to. Or again, only if you feel safe with that person. But like, how fun to sit across the table and be like, no, I've actually never been kissed. We'll see.
Yeah, like I'm
Maybe
actually living out the plot. Have you ever seen the movie Never Been Kissed? Currently living out the plot.
Yeah, but again, it's all about how you say it. And I think there's a way you can say it where you sound embarrassed, and so that makes that person embarrassed for you. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a way you can say it where it's very empowering / could be exciting for them, and that makes it more fun and a little more spicy. And then again, you can change your mind later. Like it's all about how you feel about it. If you're embarrassed about your past, so will they.
Agreed. And what was my quote? The things that are meant for you will not pass you by, and you cannot mess up. And I firmly believe that. And that is something I feel like with me telling men that I wasn't going to sleep with them, that was something that I feel like was such a like litmus test with like so many people. And there would be people that immediately were like, not into it and would go. And I'd be like, that's fine, because it's my choice, it's my journey, whatever. And then there were people that would be like, wow, like I really respect that. Or like, dang, like it's very rare that a girl hasn't like dated a ton of people or like hooked up with a ton of people, and they were like into that or whatever. And not saying anything is right or wrong. There's nothing. I hate, like, we got a DM the other day about like someone made it seem like when I talk about like that choice that like I'm making other people feel bad. And that like really made me upset, because they specifically said I was like, I'm probably making you feel bad or something.
Oh, interesting.
And it made me so upset, because I feel like I try to verbalize so much that there's never a place of like judgment coming from that. And like, it's me sharing something that is like a part of like the journey I had been on, and talking about something that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And I think that more women should feel empowered to realize like everything is a choice. Like, it's not that I was like trying to like push an agenda. It was I found in an area where people made me feel stupid, I decided to take power in that and be proud of like the decision I had made. And like, I feel like I was really sad when I read that, because I felt like that was like a very big misinterpretation of like a very important thing that like I try to share behind that. But I think like all of that to say, like, I think when you have something that is a part of your life, I think it can either be something you hide behind and you find source of shame in, or it can be something that you own as a part of who you are and a piece of who you are. That being the key, a piece. And that's what you're forgetting. That's a small piece of who that person's dating. Like, they also are dating someone who's so career driven and who is like, you literally said you're successful and killing it in every aspect of your life except that. So I think there's so much more to people than just those small little tidbits. But people are going to hear, like you said, what you speak out.
Yeah. And similar to like you talking about being a virgin and someone getting their feelings hurt on the other side, it's interesting because I think the way you react to something shows how you feel about that topic.
That's so freaking true, Ash. You're just spitting all the knowledge today. Let's give her a minute.
Toss. I was tossing like Glenda.
Duh. If you don't get that reference, go.
I think that's a much more deeper issue. And what's funny is I have reacted to that very topic in that way in the past so many times.
Yeah.
And I think that showed where I was at that time. And I think now I no longer feel that way about it.
Yeah.
So I can see how it could come that way. Taryn shares her whole life with you guys. I don't. But just because I don't share or talk often about those things doesn't mean that I'm hurt by what you're saying.
Yeah.
It just means that I'm more reserved with what I share with people. But I have been in groups where I have heard like tone, and I've heard a different way of talking about it where I've just been like, okay, like, all right, I am gonna politely bow out, or just like, okay, like end the conversation quickly or whatever.
That's so true. Cause I've heard people talk about it. Cause when I talk about it, I try to be very, very specific to why I have made the decision. It's very centered around like, well, I like watched certain things, or I was afraid of this, or I was excited about this, or I like, it's very centered on me.
Yeah.
But there are times I've heard women talk about it where they've been like, well, I just can't understand how someone can like share that piece of them with so many people and expect to be respected by, you know what I mean? Like making those, do you know what I'm talking about?
It so quickly spirals into
Just for
they
me,
deserved
like,
it. They put it out there, and I'm just like,
don't
yikes.
get how you can respect yourself of blah, blah. And you're sitting there like, like even like I would be sitting there as a virgin and be like, I am offended by like what you just said.
Well,
like,
it's like back in the day, sex workers being like, well, that's what they get. And it's like, to die?
to be literally like murdered?
Yeah. And it's crazy. So I think, again, Anonymous is going to be one of those things where you like sit down with a guy and you chat with him, and you're either going to feel safe to open up with him or you're not. And then I think something you should do beforehand is sit with yourself. And how do you feel about not having any of this stuff, experience, whatever you want to call it? Because I see nothing wrong with that.
No.
And neither should you. And once you decide that there's nothing wrong with that, then you're not going to be afraid if that conversation comes up. Also, I doubt anyone's going to be asking about first kisses.
No,
So I feel like you should like kind of take the pressure off yourself and like, if
just say
you
experience.
If you feel like bringing it up, awesome. If you don't. And if they try to bring it up and you don't feel like talking about it, just be like, actually haven't dated a ton. You don't have to get specifically into kissing. You don't have to get specifically into sex. I haven't dated a ton. I've been focused on my career, or as I like to joke with my sister is dating her career. Like,
yeah.
There's other ways to word it without giving them your entire history. And
you can even say, like, you can make like funny jokes about like, oh, like, how's dating life been? Like, whatever. And then you can just be like, oh, I'm sorry, what is it, dating life? Like,
sorry, what's dating?
Or be
Let
like,
me look that up.
Honestly, like, you're the first guy I've gone on a date with, and I couldn't tell you like when, like, my focus has been on this and this. At this point, I don't even know if I know how to kiss anymore.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And
Why is that? I'm in my second year of residency.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's incredible. No one's going to sit and focus on you not having how to kiss yet. Everyone's going to be like losing their mind over the fact that you're just crushing at life.
And I think what Ash said earlier is important. I think you need to decide at this point, are you like, I just want to like have my first kiss and get the experience so I can move on because I feel like it's too much at this point? Or do you want it to be special? I think that needs to be very important.
Yes.
I think sometimes what I even found, when you have a lack of quote unquote experience that you think other people are expecting, you tend to feel like you just have to accept whatever you can get. And that is like a very big, fight that to your very core. Like, you deserve the best. Like, that doesn't mean that you have to settle for a shy guy who too has like never kissed anyone. And like, no, you can go for like the hottest guy in the room and you deserve that. Like, your lack of experience is not something that means like, oh, well, I have to start at like whatever I can get. Like, no, screw that. But I also think, depending on what you want, go for that. If it's just like, I just need to get my first kiss, then you just say like you can make stuff of like, honestly, like, it's embarrassing how many people I've actually kissed. Like, let's just pretend like we're starting at square one at this point and like go from there. And then if you end up actually dating that guy, then like you could be like, so actually like you were my first kiss, and it's cute. But if you don't, then like you move on to the next guy and it's whatever. But
everyone's different.
And people like, if you're with the right person, and if you're a 7 and you have this big personality, like the guy, so not the guy I'm dating, but the guy I was talking to right before him was the first guy I had like kissed in a long time. And I remember like after we kissed, I was like, oh my gosh, like I was so scared I wasn't going to remember how to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And like I told him, I was like, I literally don't think I've had like a serious kiss in like 5 years. It's been that long. And like, he's like, what the heck? And like, we just joked and talked about it. But like, do you see the difference in the tone? Like, imagine if I would have been like, so I haven't like kissed anyone in years. And like, he would have been like,
why?
Okay, well, this feels like a big responsibility. And like, but it was like, we like made out. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she still got it. Like, I was just like, you know, I made it like fun and playful because again, I'm not ashamed of where I'm at. That's the difference. You have to go in knowing who you are, being proud of who you are. I think it's very beautiful that you're going into dating without all of this external baggage of like being hurt 1,000 times, which is like all what many of us are going through. So own it, go into it, but also know what you want and don't take any less.
Yeah. And then you also, being confident about something and owning something doesn't mean you have to talk about it.
Yep.
If you want to quietly own it, you can. That's my take. That's how I would do it. Taryn obviously would share.
But Ash,
and you can do both.
I feel like you could go into it. Like, I could see like your personality type, like not saying anything, kissing and being like, that was so freaking awkward. Like, I don't think I knew what I was doing, but being like, thank you so much for the lovely date. And then being like, I'm never talking to him again. And like moving on. But like,
both are fine.
Both are fine.
You need to figure out you.
Such a good point,
That's
Ash.
what you got to do.
I love this topic.
This is a great topic.
I think that's why like I love talking about these things, is I think there's so many people who are in the same category who just like feel embarrassed. And I don't think it should be a source of embarrassment.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
Again, if you're embarrassed, they'll be embarrassed.
Yeah. Or honestly, like, find a good guy friend that you're like, hey,
how do I'm
going to be so real. I've never kissed a guy. And at this point, I'm going into these dates and I want to be able to like go in and not be scared. Like, want to make out for a little?
Yeah.
That's something I would do.
Some people just go out, hang out with a guy.
Yeah.
Go on a date, get the kiss.
Or go
say
dancing.
Bye. You never have to see him again. Like, it all depends
dance
on
floor
you.
makeout?
It all depends on you. Yeah.
Yeah, girl. Just do what you got to do. But figure out what you want to do and then make the moves. You got this.
You got this.
You're a doctor. Like, that's so hot. That's so hot.
When I wish that you could, like, I hope you're like hearing this and it's really sinking in, because I don't think you have any idea. I think you're so blinded by this thing that you don't have that you're not seeing what you do have, and what you do have so outweighs a first kiss. I would give up.
Yeah.
All of mine.
I would just give up all of mine,
all of those things
for anything at this point.
Get to where you're at in your career. Like, you have such a big win. So many guys, you probably haven't had a first kiss because everyone's so intimidated by your success.
Literally.
Do your thing. That's all. We're done.
We're done.
All right. I'm like trying to decide if I say this title or not, but I think I'm not.
You're not going to say it?
I think I'm not. But we're definitely taking a turn here, so buckle up.
Oh.
Hey girls.
Hey.
First off, I want to say how much I appreciate you two just being yourselves on the pod, YouTube, TikTok, and so on. You guys bring so much light to my Monday mornings, and it's so appreciated.
Aww.
So for starters, this is going to be long, but details. Please keep me anon, because honestly, the details will probably point me out enough if anyone I know is listening.
I feel that.
My name is believe it, Michaela. I am in my younger 30s, young but feel 50 with how much crap that I've had to deal with. I have 3 children, 11 years old to my last baby who is 8 months old.
Aww.
My middle child has a rare neurological disorder that affects 1 out of every 100,000 people. My husband is in the military. We've been married for 11 years now. To keep this part short, I've been dealing with him chatting, sending pics, and things to other women, and an obsession with porn since all of that started. But I looked past it, thinking how we are young and he will grow out of it. Boy, was I wrong. And don't get me wrong, I'm a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. Okay?
Excellent reference.
Love. So it's not like he's not being taken care of or something like that, but something seriously messed up in his head. I take care of everything. I run my own business and take college courses online when I can. It has continued throughout the entire 11 years that we've been together.
Jeez.
In 2020, my grandma found out she had stage 4 cancer and didn't have much time left. So I left the 2 kids at the time with him and drove 14 hours to go see my grandma. Came home after a day or two and found out that he had someone over.
Okay, wait. What?
Yes.
So it's not just
apparently
sending
not
pics,
apparently
watching
not.
stuff.
So in 2020, she went to go visit her grandma who was dying.
And he was watching the kids. So the kids were there too?
Yep. He had someone in my bed while my kids were home sleeping.
And you're not in jail? I'm so confused.
He then came clean about a few other partners, quote, that he had. Now, I know what you're thinking. You should have left a long time ago. This boy, not a man, doesn't respect you nor deserve you. I know. Trust me, I know. But with children and a rare child and no job experience, I stayed because living with my mom with kids was simply not an option, and to get ahead of ourselves still isn't. We moved to another state in 2021. We slept in separate rooms for 6 months. We went to therapy. Everything seemed like it was going to be working out. Our communication was A1. Things were amazing. I booked my first actual vacation ever with for my 30th birthday. I decided since things were going good, he could come with me. It would be good for us. We went and we had an absolute blast. Came home and found out I was pregnant with baby number 3. We were excited. I made it clear I don't want this pregnancy to be like the others. All I want is love and support. I want maternity pics. I want to do a gender reveal, as I never had those things with the first 2 babies. This was going to be my last baby, and I wanted to do it the way I wanted to do it. Pregnancy was painful. There was a lot of body pain, a lot of getting sick, etc. He had to leave for training 2 times during pregnancy. Each was about 3 months at a time, which that's damn near the whole pregnancy.
That's your entire pregnancy. You poor thing.
Yeah. One of the
Who
times
was helping her?
I know. One of the times he came home and I found him texting another girl that had my name. Talk about how my own name is now triggering.
Well, also like that just shows how far his consciousness is, because it's like imagine like you're already cheating and you assume like you create some space to like not feel guilty, but actually like having to refer to this person as the name of your pregnant wife who is at home with your multiple children, one of which who has like severe needs. Like, I'm so sorry, what?
Yeah.
And who is still with your cheating.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so livid right now. I think that's the first time I've said a cuss word.
I'm fuming.
In 5 years.
You broke me. Fast forward to yesterday, 12 out of 10, or sorry, 12/10, December 10th.
12 out of 10. That's like when you said 911.
911.
Instead of 9/11.
He's been gone for another training. Baby is 8 months currently. So this happened like a month ago, this specific instance she's writing about.
I already know what I'm going to say, and I don't even have to know what he did.
Baby's 8 months. I decided I was going to go on his Facebook, call it instinct. But something or someone told me to download his data. I'll attach screenshots of what was found because I am sick. She writes in all caps. What she found was data for a second phone number. There were texting apps, Tinder, Bumble, insert bar face emoji here. Also, I pick him up in 2 days.
Oh my God.
And he doesn't know that I know. So I'm stressed.
I've never been more stressed in my life. I need to see the screenshots immediately.
So now I'm planning how I'm supposed to move with him next month to the next duty station, back to where he had someone in my bed. So they're going back to a different station where they'd lived before, back to where 80% of the crap happened. I'm not a spiteful person. I will never take his kids away. I will never talk about him to the kids, but I have to set an example for my kids, because if not, what am I even doing? So the plan as of now is to live together in separate rooms, co-parent in the same home until I can get out on my own, because I am so done. So I need help with rules to put in place for this living situation to work. So far, I have no bad mouthing each other to kids or near kids, no sexual contact between the two of them. She puts, I don't know if y'all can give rules or not, but please, I just need someone's insight. I have no friends here. Any insight or word, or even just about how he has been, is fine with me. She says, also, I will be subscribing to Supercast before the drive across the country so I can binge all of our episodes.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
She attached some photos of the kids as well. The person who shall not be named is in the last photo from the 4th of July. I hope this gets read so I can hear some sisterly insight. If not, no worries, but boy, would it help. And then here's all of the photos, including he who shall not be named. He doesn't deserve his name read. Oh, seriously.
You're beautiful. Your children are so cute. Oh, ew.
Blech.
You know what? He is exactly who I thought he would be. Like, exactly who I thought he would be.
Anyways.
I'm so flabbergasted. That totally took a turn, because I was getting ready to be like, I don't care. I don't care. You need to leave him. Like, we're done. But it sounds like she's there.
Yeah.
You're there, which thank God.
Yeah.
And what's so incredibly wild to me is how men will fumble these women who not only give them unconditional love and support, a family, a partner, but forgive them multiple times for cheating, and then they just keep on doing it and think that like they're just always going to be there. It's so bizarre to me, and it's so disgusting to think that that's how these men treat a person that they love.
Well, I think there's a difference between like a man cheating and a man continuing to cheat over and over and over and over.
That sounds like it's like a compulsion at this point.
That is not only a compulsion. I believe it's a lifestyle, and I believe it's a belief. And I believe, not to assume, but I'm going to allow myself to assume, it's my podcast. Do think that he probably has a very specific view of women, and I think it's lower than him. And I think he is living out a belief that he believes he has the right to do, because I don't know any man in my life who could do something like that over and over and over again.
And this is even if it was just at messaging multiple women and sending pictures, that is such a gross betrayal.
It's disgusting.
In a relationship.
It's filthy.
But even the men that I know that do cheat on their partners, I think it's very rare that you would bring someone into your own home, into your bed that you share in a marriage, while your children are in the next room.
That's what I mean.
That's a level, like, this guy is certifiable, like something is wrong with him.
Mentally unstable.
And maybe he's been through trauma. Like, if you look at him individually, I hope he gets help, but I also hope he burns in hell.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all this because I think so often you reflect on like, well, what's wrong with me? What could I have done? This is so much deeper than just like a man who's bored.
This isn't you.
No, this is so not you. And so you deserve so much better. And I've had friends in situations where it's like, for the kids, it's what makes sense to like cohabitate. And like, I get it to an extent, but I also feel like you need to think about what's best for you too.
Yeah.
And maybe this cohabitation can work short term, but I just don't think that I could do that. I feel like I would go absolutely freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know how to offer up rules besides you just completely cutting each other off in terms of like, the only thing we discuss is our kids and things that are relevant to like our living space, but nothing else can come in or touch that living space. He can do whatever he wants with whoever he wants, but that does not come into the house. Like that has to be
leave your
outside line.
Yeah, like
I would have to cut him. He would have to be so dead to me to where I'm like, I don't care who he's texting. I don't care what's on his phone. Mm-hmm. I don't care who he's with in all hours of the night, whatever. Pay the bills. Make sure like you're here on the times that you're here and no one enters this house. Mm-hmm. And I would have to like be able to like totally mentally, emotionally like cut him off.
Yeah.
But I also would be hustling the crap out. So what am I trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say?
Hustling hard.
To get out of that situation as fast as possible.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I also have known multiple people who were in really bad situations who felt like they had to stay for their kids. And there were a handful of people that I knew whose kids were older. And I think the thing that tends to happen, obviously you have some very young kids, but you have an older one. And I think the older one knows more than you think.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, I think that people tend to think that kids don't pick up on things when they do. And I think at a certain age, the priority should be the example. And I think sometimes maybe the living situation isn't going to be great, but sometimes it's better than allowing them to think that something's okay, or allowing them to be in a living space that isn't safe. Because in my opinion, him bringing a woman over, that's not a safe environment.
Gosh, yeah.
I don't think that is a safe environment to raise any children. And I don't think it's a safe environment for you. So my biggest recommendation is at all costs, try to get out of there. I know you said that's not an option with your mom. If that changes, I would take it. If another opportunity comes its way, I would take it. I don't know if you go to church or not, but a lot of churches have a lot of programs that are discreet and are very helpful. And I would look into that.
Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of the harder parts of that move is taken care of for you. So I would look into that. I would try anything to get out of the house. If for some reason nothing comes up and you're stuck there for a while, let's try to think of some rules. And I think
I've said the only ones I can think of, because I'm just like, how do you even, you would have to literally shift as roommates. And it's like, okay, here are the chores of the house. Here's how they're split.
Yeah.
You do dinner on your own. Like, I got the kids, I got our meals. Like, I mean, I just can't see where you're like sitting at the dinner table together. Like, I just don't.
And I know you don't want I know you don't want to take his kids from him, and I'm not saying that you should take his kids from him, but I also don't think he should be trusted with your kids because clearly he can't be. So I think what I would try to do roommate wise, I love the separate bedrooms. I love that you're not cooking for him. You're not doing anything for him. He has his own schedule. You have your own schedule. I would try to keep the kids' schedule with you if at all possible so that when you do leave, because I do think you should leave, that makes it just even more seamless because he doesn't have any responsibility already. And I know you don't have any friends that can help you. I would talk to a therapist. Maybe I know that there's therapists that can help create a plan, like a leaving plan.
Yeah.
I would try to get them in your corner to like help you create that plan. Again, a lot of this, I don't know if money is tight. You said you weren't working. A lot of these things are available if you can find a church.
Yeah. I think the rules need to separate as much as possible and protect you as much as possible.
Keep the kids under your umbrella, not his.
Yeah. And then I think from there, I think you, like Ash said, like start reaching out to things in the community. I don't know if you go to church, but like there are support groups in churches. That's where you can like get some support, but also like get some help. And then maybe that's like one night a week. It's like, okay, you have the kids for dinner this night. I'll be home at like 9 when I'm done. But I think start reaching out and forming like your support group because you're definitely going to need it. And then I think like look up online forums, like articles, things like, unfortunately, this is a common thing women go through. So there's like lots of things out there, but
there's women's shelters. I know it's not ideal. I know it's hard with 3 kids, but it's a first step.
Yeah.
It gets you away. There's things you can look for. I know every city has like community centers and a lot of them have women's groups that you could join.
And obviously like I don't have personal experience. So this is something like you need to talk to family therapists, people who actually like know more. But just from what I've watched friends go through, I would get legal processes started right away.
Always start
especially
taking
with a
receipts.
man like this. Like I think you need to like have in place to where he is paying what he needs to be paying to like take care of you and the kids, but also like that he can't come and like start doing sketchy stuff of taking the kids in times like he shouldn't. I feel like your priority needs to be like making sure legally you're safe and covered and getting out of that house. And I think that's for you, but also that's for your kids. Like I think the sooner that they can just be in a healthy home and see mom healthy and be around like that stability. And that doesn't mean he can't still have a relationship with them and you can't figure it out. But I think what is important is you trying to like get on your solid feet without him there. And then you guys can find your new normal and maybe you and him can get to a place where you can coexist at visitations and family functions and whatever. But now
a man bringing a woman into your bed with your children there doesn't deserve rights to see his kids for a while. Like there needs to be some kind of punishment or repercussion from that. Cause otherwise what's stopping him from continuing to do it during visitation?
Well, I just think it shows he can't
be
trusted alone. So like for me, like, I don't know, like as a mom, I'd be like, oh, you can like have them for like, you can pick them up for dinners or whatever, but
and bring them to my house.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable for like weekends and stuff until like you built up a trust system.
Also, I like mentioned it, but I would start writing stuff down, taking screenshots.
I mean, she's got them screenshots, so it
Send
sounds like
them
we're
the podcast.
And it doesn't mean you have to be vindictive about it,
No.
but you do need to stand up for like what you deserve.
But here's the thing.
And he needs to be paying and taking care of you guys. I'm
I've
sorry.
known too many women in my life and my mom's life who were too nice in the beginning. And unfortunately, because they were too nice and they were trying to protect the kids and they were trying to like not paint their husband as this monster, it put them in a more delicate situation where the guy got away with more stuff or didn't have to pay as much. And I'm not saying let's
you don't
kill
need to be
him
like, hey,
in a financial debt.
Daddy had, do you know what sex is?
Yeah.
Daddy had it with another woman right here in this room. Like
you don't have to say that. And you don't have to absolutely take every penny from him. But also this is part of it. And if you don't play the game, I guarantee you he will, because he's just like in the head. So I would do what you have to do and make sure you're covered, make sure your kids are covered, make sure you have your receipts, make sure you even told your mom about it, because things get weird with not telling people how that stuff's going on.
I will say there are going to be a lot of dumb responses of like, and you stayed with them. What did you think? Like, you have to be expecting people are going to be stupid.
Yeah.
But you stand and do what is right. And I just want to piggyback on what you said, because I think it's a good point. I have watched where there was this sugarcoating. Like, the woman left a situation where there was like cheating, terrible things happening in the marriage. The woman has become the sole provider, but the man won't pay. So now like the child can't do something, and the woman takes all the grunt of it. So dad is seen as the fun parent who picks them up and they go to dinner and he says yes to everything.
Junk food, and they always have sugar, and they always go to movies, and the mom's the one actually parenting.
Keeps like doing these things. So I will say I do agree with that. It's not that you have to say everything, but when questions are asked of like, well, why are we leaving? I don't want to leave. Just explaining, you know what, babe, someday you're going to understand there are certain things that there are certain things that should happen in a marriage and that are expected. And there are certain things that a person can do that can break what that marriage is.
I had a friend
and dad, we love him and you will always have him. He will always love you. He will always be your dad. But there are things that he did that broke our marriage. And this is just what has had to happen. And mommy is really sad.
Yeah.
Because mommy really loved dad. But this is what, and there's ways that you can tell them that is like, this is not what I wanted either. But like, I'm doing this because there were things that were done and I have to be strong now and we have to find a new normal. But it's not fair when you're the person that was hurt and now has to be the parent and then gets all the grunt for it.
You have to
no,
play
thank you.
Both sides. Yeah. But I specifically for the 11-year-old, they need a conversation. I think they're old enough to where they deserve a conversation. They need to know what's going on. Like Taryn said, no details, but daddy's not being a good husband and mommy is leaving because of that. Or, you know, daddy hurt my feelings and we have to go. So I think having had friends go through this, I'm not kidding, like such a similar experience, they hated the fact that mom stayed and they hated the fact that they knew something was wrong and couldn't quite put a finger on it and no one told them.
Yeah.
So I think have some kind of conversation with the 11-year-old, maybe once you're out, or you can time that right with your schedule. I don't know your schedule, obviously, but I would make it clear that daddy loves him, but isn't being a good husband and
he broke rules. I think it's okay to say that. Like you teach kids when you do something wrong and
marriage is serious.
Yeah, and daddy did some things that were very wrong. And it's mommy's not going to share that with you because that's something that I think you're too young for. But
it's an adult thing.
Yeah, like it's so sad, but I think that they need to see that and they need to see you getting up on your own 2 feet, but they need to also see that like you're sad and this is something that like you didn't want either, but you know, sometimes in life, like things happen and we have to like take care of ourselves.
And it's important to show the young boys that that's not how you treat a woman. And it's important to show the young girls that that's not how you should be treated. Like, and it's important for the kids to see their mom stand up to that and say, no, like no more. Like I'm taking the kids and we're leaving. And I think that it's going to be so hard in the moment, but looking back, your kids are going to be like, I am so blown away by my mom. She's the strongest person I know. She has always been our number one supporter and I would do anything for her. And again, like there's going to be like waves of like the kids not understanding or not really knowing what happened and confusion. But when they grow up into an adult, they're going to see all the work and love and hard effort that you did to give them a good life. And that's going to overshadow all of this. And it's going to be so worth it. And I'm like literally, I feel like I'm shaking.
No, it makes me so
bad
sick
for you.
It makes me so sick to my stomach.
Literally, I'm going to be praying for you. I'm sorry.
No, literally. And I think like, I know your focus is on the kids and getting them out and all of those things. And I think that's important. And that's like a duty as a mom. But I really feel like, you know, it's that airplane metaphor. Like, you can only be as effective as a human to other people when like you yourself are healthy. And I think for so long you've accepted this and come to just accept this as normal. And it has to have been chipping at your worth all of these years.
Yeah.
So I feel like get the logistics in order, get yourselves to a place, and then like you need to find a support system that you can just drop the kids off at school, get a babysitter, fall apart if you need to, and like get in therapy and start to rebuild who you are as a woman. Because I feel like 11 years is such a long time to have this message be put at you multiple times by a piece of trash, by the way.
Also, it sounds like she is alone, like doesn't have that many friends.
You gotta
she's
build
moving
it up,
around
babe.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's online chats too.
And I'm sorry, but like and I know like there's legal things. So like obviously, again, find that out. But you have followed this man around and made his life your life and made things that's done. So if you building a life with your family means you need to be close by your parents and like have them as a support system, but that's not where he's based, I'm sorry, then that's what's best for the kids and he can figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think
And
you
the
just
courts
need
would
to
agree.
yeah, I think you need to like really look at like what's going to be best for you. And like it sounds to me like you need a home base. Like you need a place where you can start to build a community of women who are going to support you, a family that's going to be there to help you out, because a lot of this is going to now fall on you. And then he needs to figure out how he can fit into that. And if he's going to fit into that, because with that comes responsibility, like not being a freaking fill in the blank, because I can't say what I want to say. Oh, I'm so upset right now.
I think all of these things are monumental to you having a beautiful life with your kids.
And you are like, this is your eat, pray, love year. You need to just focus on yourself and do what you can to like rebuild yourself back up. And then you are going to like, your life is not over. It's just beginning. And like, once you cut this dead freaking weight that you've had to carry around for years, like the sky is going to be the limit. And I'm just so excited for you to like re-fall in love with who you are. And someday, hopefully, if that's what you want, have like an actual man come into your life and like just erase everything that like you've ever thought. Like you deserve the world, and those beautiful kids deserve so much. And I think that you are going to give them all the love that they need. And like, whether he's a part of that or not, like they're going to be so fulfilled just by you, because they have been for all these years.
Yeah. I am so sorry, but I truly believe you've got this. It's going to be hard living alone and having 3 kids, but it's going to be a lot easier than having to do all that while covering up for his. So like, let's just cut it and get going. Would love an update.
Yeah, I really would love an update too on how the conversation goes, but also like, what like the arrangement is you guys decide on. And also like anyone listening, like if you guys have, I really would love, and we've talked about this, and like we're trying to figure out how to orchestrate this, like whether it's like what's that? Discourse?
Discord.
Whatever that's called. Or like maybe like on our posts more or whatever. But if you guys have resources for women that are struggling in this scenario, or encouragements or whatever, like maybe drop it under like our posts for today's episodes, or if you want to DM it or anything like that, we can make sure we get it to anonymous. But I just think it's so sad. And what's so sad is like, it doesn't just, I don't know why I feel emotional right now, but like it doesn't just affect these people. Like I have so many trust issues from just hearing stories like this.
Dude,
of things
this
happening.
podcast messes with me sometimes.
No, I was just talking about how my trust issues are at such a high level, which is so sad, because like this man I'm talking to has done nothing to make me feel that way. But it's from my own past, but also from watching my friends go through these things, from hearing these stories from all of you. and just these terrible things that happen to these beautiful people that didn't deserve any of it. It just makes me so sad. And I just hope that like everyone listening, like you just can find solace in like in life, like things happen that like you don't deserve. And like, it's not fair. It's not right. But I think what's so beautiful about humans is how like we can like hold the power to get back up on our feet and to like emerge even stronger.
Yeah.
But like, it just makes me so sick to my stomach because like, I just know so many people are out there right now suffering through situations like this. And it's so unfair that one person's selfishness can like impact not only all of their family, but like the generations to come because now their kids are going to have issues of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's so selfish and it's so gross to me that those like momentary like satisfactions are worth like hurting all of the people in your life. Like, I just like, I'm so grossed out by that.
Yeah, it really truly is disgusting. And
I'm so sorry.
I hope that you know that there are so many people listening right now who have been in similar situations. And I know it feels like you're alone right now, but you're definitely not.
You have an army of women sitting in their cars, walking on their, and our 10% males who would never. Our 10% males would we need to connect you to one of them because they would never.
Any of y'all single?
Literally, write us in. Because she's beautiful. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
But you have an army of women fuming and ready to freaking ride at dawn. Okay?
Shaking our heads. We are all in your corner.
The way I want to like report him to his commanding officer.
Give me his number.
But
give me his ID badge.
You need to know that even though you might not feel it, you have an army of people surrounding you right now with like all of the love and sending all of the like love and prayers and fuming, and we'll be going to their circles and talking crap about this man to the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that will be talking crap about this man. It's amazing. So like you need to know you're supported even if you don't feel it, and then work to find your system around you because that is how you get through everything in life.
Keep your eyes peeled. Look for women around you.
Go to coffee shops.
Go to
mommy and me groups.
Look around. Again, there's a lot. I've heard that there's online groups too.
Yeah.
So if you are for some reason like completely unable to meet someone in person, even hop online. Like that's better than nothing.
Church groups have mommy and me or mops or whatever.
Yeah.
Like even if church is like not your thing, it is a very safe space that's usually, if you find the right one, filled with like nice people who like in a crisis rally around the people that 100%. Need it. So I mean, like, just go and find like a mommy group that you can take your kids and find support, and there's therapy involved. Like, that is a great place to start with anyone who's in need of anything. Like, yes, the church has done many things, and I know people, especially like in climates around like political stuff, I feel like, unfortunately, terrible Christians emerge just opening their mouths. But what I will say is if you find a good, solid church, like that's one thing I love about the message of Christianity and who Jesus was, which is what church is supposed to be like modeled after. And I think we forget like a man who gave everything he could to people who needed it. And I think a lot of churches, if you find good ones, have support systems in place, and you don't have to believe to access it. Mm-hmm. Like you can go and just like accept the help and find people who like can like love and give you access to resources. So that's like one thing I always recommend is just like find a local church, like just go in, talk to people, get a vibe off of like what you feel. And if you don't like it, then go down the street and find a different one. Like find somewhere where you can get involved with people that can just come around you. And whether it's temporary or you find like lifelong people, just right now you need support. Mm-hmm. Like you do not need to just be in that house cohabitating with the devil and then trying to figure this out all out on your own. Like you need to find support. And you need to be talking to, I mean, girl, if you don't have friends, I'm calling up people I went to high school with. Like I'm calling up anybody at this point to just have someone to talk to. Because you're not meant to do this alone, especially something this hard. Like you need people.
And you need someone gassing you up and making sure you get through this. Thanks for writing in.
Oh my gosh.
For trusting us with this. And I am so sorry, but I have been so blown away by all of the women that I know that have gone through this type of stuff. The way they blossomed, emerged, somehow glowed up in the process. And I'm always I'm sorry.
They always glow up.
What? He always ends up looking like worse and worse and worse. And every girl I know who's gone through this emerges a model. And I'm just like, your skin is glowing. When did that happen?
I'm sorry, but imagine how disgusting he's going to be now that he doesn't have something he's trying to follow rules for, which obviously he can't. Like, he is so trash, and I hope you see him for that. And that's, if you really can just be like, ew, he's disgusting, and he is literally just a roommate, like, ew, sit and eat your TV dinner, like, on the couch, like,
throwing up
pay
in my
the
mouth.
rent and, like, whatever, cool. But if you even are struggling at all with, like, still feeling things for him, like, that's why I'm like, I just feel like you need to get out of there. ASAP Rocky.
And I would keep a little list. I'd make a little list, and I would make a little list of all the things that you're doing this for. I'd make a little list of the things you deserve, and I'd make maybe a couple reminders as to why we hate him. Because for whatever reason, these literal pieces of garbage always tend to worm their way back. And
it sounds like she's done though. And when a woman's done, they're done. We've talked about this so much. Psychologists say that men will be like, done, okay, I'll try again, done, okay, I'll try again, like over and over. Women will be like, okay, I'm trying, okay, it's okay.
We'll take it.
But when they're done,
bags are packed, kids are gone, and see you later.
Done. Yeah. So we're done with him, and I'm glad that you are done with him. But now, like, don't stay in this place too long. Like, I think you need to find your way. I really want to fight him.
Yeah.
I think
if you want Taryn to come take care of this problem for you,
you know what?
Email us.
Here's the thing. Everyone sees me as this just like sweet human, and I am for sure. But when you poke Mama Bear, the way that I could tear a grown man down with just my words.
And I'm an excellent getaway car driver.
Yeah.
I'll drop her off, pick her up, we'll be gone.
You know that movie where she's on her knees and he opens doors and
you know why.
Yeah, that'll be us.
What is that from?
I don't remember, but
what happens
in Vegas? Yeah, we can definitely make some things happen. But dude, when I hit my limit and you mess with my people... That'd be funny.
If the podcast doesn't come out, you know what happened.
Dude, if we get arrested, our mugshots are for sure our next cover art.
Mine's going to be so good.
Should we just do it?
I'm going to pose so hard.
I'm going to have to quit my
break
job.
the internet. Like, what's his name? With my mugshot.
Oh, dear gosh. I'm not. Mine's going to be so bad. Or am I just going to be like so happy?
I'm just going to like smudge some asphalt to make my eyeliner. If I'm down there already.
Can I borrow your pencil, sir? Dies of lead poisoning. Anyways, wow.
Went over, but worth it. Do you want to wrap us up with a dad joke so we can lighten the mood a little bit, Taryn?
I do. I feel like this one's very fitting.
Perfect.
Why are ghosts evil at deceiving?
I don't know why.
Because you can always see right through them. Like this, man. We see you. We see right through you.
Absolute scum. All right. We're going to wrap it up.
We're going to start a GoFundMe to hire a hitman. If the FBI is listening, I'm kind of kidding.
If you made it to the dad joke, you already know the drill. We love you the mostest. If we don't come out with an episode in the near future,
we're in jail.
We're going to need you to post our bail.
We're in jail.
And if you want us to read your email on the pod, all you have to do is email us. And what's our email, Taryn?
Advice, unsolicitedpod@gmail.com.
We love you all so much. We love our community. And we love that all of us are collectively shaking our heads right now.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Love you. Bye.